My 22F ex-husband's wife, my child's stepmother, is breastfeeding my child. When I went to pick up my son, she told me that she had just fed him. She is also breastfeeding her own child. I told him that this made me uncomfortable and he said it didn't matter because my child is just like her own child to her. I don't think this is fair or normal. Please tell me what I should say to him. Update. Ex-husband just texted me, "Hey, don't worry. I think you just misheard something." Exactly like I expected. Also, I got a lawyer. Again. To modify our agreement. I won't be going to school now because it cost $2,000. Maybe that's what he wanted. Of course I still expect them to just lie more and not have custody changed when I see the judge. But now I've done everything Reddit says to do. So you can stop sending me chat messages that I'm a lazy cunt who isn't doing enough, thanks. You can also stop calling me that word for the exact opposite reason and getting mad about it like I'm selfish, egotistical too. Thanks so much. Do you have a general practitioner or pediatrician? It might help to bring this up to them. Tell him no. Be firm. Breastfeeding is a very personal bonding experience, and if you don't feel comfortable, you should not allow this, and he cannot do this without your permission. I'm horrified by some of these comments trying to convince you why it's fine to let someone else breastfeed your child. Most people here have missed the point. This isn't a debate about the pros and cons of someone else breastfeeding. If the mother is uncomfortable with it, then it's simple. It shouldn't happen. There is no reason why your child has to see the stepmother. The father can have supervised visits. Yikes. That is definitely not okay. Your ex-husband and his wife need to set some boundaries, and she need to learn her place. She is the stepmother, not the biological mother. You have every right to be upset. Tell your ex-husband that it doesn't matter how he feels or how his wife feels, because that is your child too, and you have every right to not let anyone else breastfeed. That is your child that you had with your ex, not his and her child. This deeply angers me. I'm getting overworked because this couldn't be me. I would raise hell and clean my baby's mouth out 1 billion times. Do you have any custody agreement or something? If you don't and have custody of your child, it might be better to stop bringing your son to their house. At least till he stops being breastfed. And organizing supervised visits for the father. Please contact a lawyer. I'm not sure where in the world are you, but many places offer pro bono services. You ask for advice, then reject any good advice. Where is your reply to talk to pediatrician? Talk to child services? I cannot believe you mind very much but are not prepared to take any action. Something wrong here. Get a note from the pediatrician, and ask them if the baby's decision outweighs a doctor's. This is insane, and it blows my mind that any woman could think it would be okay for her to breastfeed someone else's child without discussing it. Tell her that she cannot breastfeed your child. She's not the biological parent, and her breast milk can impact the health, well-being of your child. Did he not have milk formula available? She's gonna sneak those boob feeds. Trust me. I'd try to set boundaries with the child's father and his wife, and hope they respect your boundaries. I'm so sorry this is happening. As a mother who breastfed 2 toddlers, that's not a bond I'd want them to share with another woman. In my culture, it was normal to have a milk mother back when my mom was a baby. But it's not something that's done behind someone's back. It's not okay she did this without you knowing or agreeing. It's a breach of trust. It's weird as well, tbh. You definitely need to put in place some very direct ground rules. Anything regarding your child should be passed by you first at the very least, as your ex shouldn't be allowed to speak on your behalf either. Consider getting some professional guidance as well. Reddit is good for general stuff, but professionals know more. Split houses always make things awkward. My parents split when I was young. Even though they hated each other, they still respected each other enough to ask and talk things out. Regarding me and my brother, I've come late to this, but here goes. My friend and her ex-husband. She breastfed. She wanted sole custody until she stopped breastfeeding, and supervised visits for her ex. The judge, female by the way, asked her how long she planned on breastfeeding. She said until her son was 2 or 3. So, the judge granted shared custody. Told my friend to pump for his time. My friend got upset and started screaming about her bonding time and her baby needed her, and how she was more important, because she carried her child for 9 months. And fathers don't bond with babies. The judge told her she stood by her decision. So my friend felt defeated. Felt her ex was basically a sperm donor. On his visiting time she refused to pump for him, and would send over the sheriff for wellness checks. Would go to her ex's house, constantly being a nuisance, disturbing the peace and demanding to feed her baby. The ex, for a while, would send their child home with her, under the sheriff's advice, so as to keep the peace. The ex got a wet nurse, his sister, and supplemented with formula. Because of my friend's refusal to pump, he wanted to bond with his child too. You see, she took him back to court, because he dared to let another woman breastfeed her child without her permission. The judge gave him sole custody, with her supervised visits, to breastfeed, pump and bond. The judge said this: a mother's bond with her child is no more important than a father's bond to his. That a father has just as much right to parent as a mother. That she was tired of women using breastfeeding as a tool to manipulate and cut out fathers. My take on this as a mother and woman. I agree with the judge. I tried to talk sense into my friend. I felt great sympathy, empathy for her. Still do. But she just wouldn't listen. Our family courts are changing. Slowly. But they are. My advice to you, I'm guessing y'all are exes for a reason. And I really don't care why. Y'all are stuck in each other's lives forever. Because parenting doesn't just end when a child turns 18. If her breastfeeding upsets you, use your big girl words and have an honest talk with your ex and your child's stepmother about it. Offer to pump and have your ex feed yours and his baby bare-chested so they can bond too. Do not stop his visitation. This is horrible advice. Do not scream and shout. He gave her permission. She didn't overstep, nor did she violate your child. Because of this permission, should it have been something you should have discussed? Yes. Am I dismissing your true feelings? No. Listen to your lawyer. Do not take the law in your own hands on this. Your feelings do not supersede his parental rights, nor yours. If y'all can't work this out like adults, and keep being bitter and angry towards each other for the sake of your child, then neither of you deserve to be parents. Odd opinion out here. My friends and I breastfed each other's babies if we were watching them and they were hungry. This is normal in many parts of the world. I'm not sure why it's frowned upon here in the States. But if you feel uncomfortable, then speak up. You should get some lawyers. You should get top-notch lawyers, only the best. You're divorced and he has 2 kids that can be breastfed. Both of you were pregnant by him around the same time. Now he's so quickly married again? Sounds bad. Just tell her you don't feel comfortable with it and you'll provide expressed milk. I am concerned with the amount of comments that are insinuating that there's some sort of sexual abuse element here. In many cultures, women breastfeed others' babies and it's totally normal and practical. Formula companies have made damn sure that you find it weird for their own greed and profit. I also just think of the health concerns. You don't know what diseases she has, what drugs, foods she is eating that your baby shouldn't be having. Also, the fact that you both have breastfeeding babies makes me think there was some sort of infidelity. I can't believe that people messaged you like that. I'm so sorry. You sound like a wonderful mother. Keep it up. Cringe. I'd have a serious problem with this. If it was me, I'd tell her straight up to keep her tits to her kids and back of my child. She has no right to assume that's okay. Because it is not. Don't be afraid to let her know.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.